And now, weighing in out of the blue corner, Josh the Punk Thompson. 100%. And on the other mic, he weighs in from the red corner, Big Sean McCarthy.
I've always wanted to be the Punk. God, it's a great name. And not really. What's happening? It is the Weighing In podcast with my man Josh Thompson, who is the original and the best punk there is.
That's right.
My man, what's happening?
Man, I can't believe how long I've been called the Punk. I mean, you would think when you're getting close to 50, they'd stop calling you that. But it doesn't go away, man. It doesn't. I'm stuck with it, man. That nickname said, you fuck with me, you stuck with me. That's it. I've been trying to shake that shit since fighting was over. I mean, once I hit like 37, 36, I was like, all right, it's kind of old now, but I don't know. I'm thinking about getting rid of my Instagram handle and my Twitter. It's just going to be called just Josh Thompson. The problem with that, and I've had this problem though, John, people misspell my last name to this day.
That's because you don't use a P.
Yeah, this is the thing that really pisses me off. I went to the DMV one time. This was like probably about 4 or 5 years ago. And I went to the DMV one time, filled out the paperwork right in front of her and gave it to her. And then she wrote a P in my name. And I said,
That's because you don't know how to spell your own name, obviously.
I asked her, did you think I didn't know how to spell my name? I thought you just left it out. I was like, does that make any sense to you? She's like, now that I think about it, no, it doesn't make any sense to me. And I'm like, why would you write a P in my... That's just the way that I sounded it out when I was reading it. And I thought maybe, I don't know. I was baffled by the fact that somebody would write a letter in there thinking they knew how to spell my name.
I have one very similar to that. I go, when I moved to Tennessee, I go to, get a new ID and license here in Tennessee, right? And it's way better than California or Nevada because it's like not busy at all. So it's great. And I go up there and I have my little information. I have my old license from Nevada, put that down and, have my passport also. Right? The guy looks and he starts typing and he puts, John and then MC, a space, and then CARTHY. And I go, whoa, there's no space. And he goes, yeah, there is. No, there's no space.
John.
And he goes, yeah, there is. Look at your passport. I go, well, someone made a mistake because there's no space. He goes, well, if there's a space there has to be a space here. I said, so let's see. I've been spelling my name for the last 55 fucking years. And you're now trying to tell me that I've done it wrong for 55 years. He goes, yep. Dude, I swear to God, I was about ready to reach across there.
So great.
Let me just explain to you how wrong you are. But so he goes, well, do you have a birth certificate? Right? I go, oh yeah, sure I do. I just carry it on me all the time.
Yes.
Hey. You're like, what the frick? Unbelievable. It's like, at least she admitted, oh, okay, so you don't spell it that way. Mine, take a look at my ID, there's a space. I'm stuck with it.
John, I have to go through the same thing. Somewhere along the line on my driver's license, someone misspelled my middle name. It's Joseph.
Joseph. It's almost like Jamahal.
That's exactly almost like John Mahal. I'm like, how in the fuck, when you were writing it out, did you not think that, hey, I know how to spell Joseph. I don't know who the fuck would spell their name Joseph. They've added a P in there somewhere. And I'm like, what in the hell is going on? And the same thing. Hey, do you have a birth certificate? Yeah, I carried it around with me in my back pocket. No, I don't have a birth certificate.
And if I did have it, it would be falling apart anyways. It's fucking old. It's like the scriptures.
It's like just dirt. Like when you hold it up, it just falls all apart.
Yeah.
It's so great. Just so annoying, right? You got to go through all these hoops and shit just to get it changed. I'm like, you motherfuckers misspelled it. And I'm the one having to go through all the hoops now to get it fixed.
Yep.
It's so annoying. Yeah, I don't know what.
I know the feeling.
And there's no worse place, I think, in the whole United States than going to a California DMV.
Oh, it's horrible. It's the worst.
There's no worse place.
No, it's horrible.
Even
when you get the damn, you go and you say, okay, I want an appointment. You're still fucked.
No, you're still there for 2 hours. Easily 2 hours. You're like, wait, I made an appointment for 2:00. Here it is 4, You guys are finally now seeing me. And then it still takes another 30 minutes to get anything done.
Yep.
I'm so, like, this place sucks. I think most people, when they leave California and they go somewhere else, right, they think to themselves, God, I can't wait to deal with the DMV somewhere else.
Oh,
That's so nice.
So easy.
When you show up, I have friends that
Until
move,
they tell
like,
you don't know how to spell your name.
Oh, I have friends that moved to like Southern Idaho, and then people that moved to Texas, some friends that moved to Florida, and they're like, when I went to go register my vehicle or to get my new driver's license, they're like, I was in and out of there in like 20 minutes. In whatever DMV they went to. They're like, yeah, I didn't have to make an appointment, just showed up, walked in, 20 minutes, took my picture, good to go, walked out. They're like, yeah, register your vehicle, cool. And the other part is, you know, when you register your vehicle in another state, it's like 2 years for $70. You know what I mean? Like, it's not bad here.
Oh no,
it's like $600-700 in California.
Oh yeah. No, it's
a shit show.
The best is, you know, it's like, all right, so I have my truck, and then I have what I call the farm truck, because I have a truck that's for the farm, right? It carries all the shit and everything. So I haul all kinds of shit in the farm truck. I have a dump trailer. I've got a trailer for the equipment that I use, and sometimes I have to take the equipment and go get it serviced. You know, it's like a 40-minute drive or anything. So while I'm at the last show, my daughter goes and takes my trailer and my truck, and she gets pulled over by the state troopers at an inspection post. And she's got my skid steer on my trailer, right? And they say, well, if you're going to carry this much weight, you got to have a J tag for your license. And she goes, what's a J tag?
Truck.
Well, no.
No, it's to pull something over 7,000 pounds, I believe, right?
It's to pull something, and it depends on, is it a J1, a J2, a J3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So they give her, they make her pull up, and she's actually videotaping this as they're doing it, take the truck and to pull it up onto these little scales that are like on chocks. And you can hear the turbos. It's like, are you kidding me? Right. So they can weigh it. I said, I can tell them what it weighs. I weigh it all the time because when I get, rock and stuff, I said, the skid steer is 11,500 pounds. The truck, I said, it's going to weigh 26,500 pounds. Right. Sure enough, comes out. What does it weigh? 26,500 pounds. So they go and they give her and the guy tells her, a state trooper is sitting there with his little, Smokey Bear hat on, and he tells her, now this is what's that, Mountie?
It's a Mountie hat. Like we call them Mount Me hats.
Mount Me hats.
Mount Me hats. Like,
So he tells her, he says, now this is more of a civil matter. Well, then what the hell are you doing something with a civil matter? You are an element of the law. Has there been a crime committed? If there's not, get the hell out of the way. But he gives her this thing. It's not a ticket, but it's a $118 tax bill, right? That if I go and get this new tag, then I don't owe the tax bill. Now, normally my tags in Tennessee are about $28 to $32 a year, just like you're saying. Now, I get this one, and I go up a level, 32,000 pounds. My J5 tag cost me $220. I go, what am I, in California again?
No, that would have been $1,200.
Unbelievable.
That's the difference.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's weird. I was in, when I used to have my truck that I originally moved back down to California with, I had to get a truck tag. And I was like, you plan on pulling anything? I'm like, nah. They're like, well, your truck might be over the actual truck tag if you plan on pulling anything. So I think in Idaho, it's like 62 or 6,400 pounds is what it can't weigh over. So it's like, I was like, all right. So I just paid for a truck license. Well, I didn't know that if you have a truck license plate, that you have to renew it every year. I was like, you son of a bitch. Like a normal license, like you earn your normal tags, you can do every 2 years. No, not this one.
Not that one.
Every year.
Yep.
I swapped that shit out as fast as I could. As soon as I found out, I was like, man, fuck this. I'm done with this thing. I just knew I wasn't going to pull anything. So what's the point? It's right on the border. Like,
and
you could get pulled over.
See, but I did, instead of the J4, which limits me at 26,000 pounds, I went to the J5, which gives me 32,000 pounds. And today, stepped on the scales as I'm getting my gravel, 29,000 pounds. I was feeling hefty.
Good.
Hefty, baby.
Good call. Never go cheap.
Never
Always
go
go like Dave. He'll go cheap,
Step
right?
above.
Like, he'll try to put his own dishwasher in, and then fucking water will get everywhere. So it's like,
Hey, it's working well now.
bro, with you, just don't cut corners on certain things like that. Like that. Getting your floors redone is a lot more expensive than the $50 it would have cost for the guy to come out and do it right. So great.
The worst part of that is that Tanya gave me a hard time because there was a rebate on the installation. And I was like, nah, I'm just going to do it myself.
Oh my gosh, man. It's so cheap. Oh man. Some things are just worth it. I'm just being honest, man. Some things are just worth it. It's so funny. So I have like family, visiting from out of town, and I have a new ring bell put on, and they're like, I had the electrical guy come over to do it. I'm like, you could have just done this yourself. I was like, fuck no, I'm not doing it myself. I don't want to touch wires.
You
That's
think I'm going to
one
touch
thing.
a wire?
Yeah, like, you're fucking stupid, man. Like, that's why they're called professional electricians. Like, that's why. I'm not going to go sifting through shit either to be a plumber. I'm not doing that either. Like, it just, certain things are just not worth it to me. Just have someone come out.
Josh.
Well, I think it was the frustration. People were like, it only took him like 5 minutes to put the ring thing on. And then I had him do the Nest thermostat too, because I got tired of having to like go up and down for it. So he's like, "Yeah, he did both of them in like maybe under 10 minutes." And I was like, "All right, cool, whatever." See how easy that was? It cost me $50, Dave. He just sold two things.
It cost you more than $50. You lying
$50,
bastard.
$50.
I did all that. I did all my Nest stuff by myself, and then you know what I did afterwards? I went and got some pizza with the money I had left over.
Ooh, look at Dave. He's throwing a barb.
Ooh, yeah, you did. You did one thing. The Nest. I would have done the Nest thing. The Nest thing's actually not that bad. The doorbell thing kind of gives me a little bit of heebie-jeebies. It's I don't know why. Oh man. Well, hey, it's been a long week for me on this end. It's
And it's
anytime.
It's only Wednesday.
No, man. Anytime family comes to visit, it's a lot to take in. I've got my mom, I've got my nephew, my brother was here with his wife and his two kids, and just the whole crew was here, and it's like, man, it's a lot. It's a lot. And when John,
Release the hounds.
yeah, your kids have been out for a while, but
yeah.
it's that feeling of like when they kind of come back. I think you're thinking like, God, I love my space. I just don't like when you want to take a shower. You want to take a shower. You don't have to worry about someone taking another shower, like in the other, down the hall. And I don't know, just weird. Like I'm weird about certain things. I think at my old age, I've just started to like certain things. Like just give me my space. Just don't be around me when I'm doing this. Anyways, no matter how much you love somebody, you develop these habits that you're just used to having in your own time, your own space.
Oh yeah. Your own space, your own place.
Yep. Yeah, that's the best part of living on your own. Man, I moved out when I was 16 years old. And so,
17.
don't get me wrong, I've moved in with like my uncle here and there, and I've moved in back with my father when he was alive, and I went back and forth here and there for 6 months to a year and a half. But man, every time I was like just itching, just like plotting ways to get out of their houses to get into my own house again, because since I was 16, I never lived with anyone really, just kind of my own. Never had girlfriends live with me. I always had fighters that kind of stayed with me or lived with me, and that's it, man. Just it was a rough one. This week's only halfway over. All right, guys. Well, hey, we're gonna get into the show now. We're done talking about our venting. We're done venting. I'm done, John. I'm done.
The venting is done.
Go to WeighingInMerch.com. Pick up one of these nasty, awesome hats, man. This thing is so dope. It actually fits my dome really well. And John, I know it's kind of getting out of sweatshirt season and
it is
hoodie
definitely
season.
getting out of sweatshirt season.
It is, but we've got short sleeves. We've got a bunch of new styles that are out, so go ahead and check them out at WeighingInMerch.com, and also go to OnlyFans.com/WeighingIn. Now I know you guys, we've talked about it a lot. We continue to talk about it, and but hey, this is another way that John and I have come up with to say, you guys can pitch to your wife that you're there for us now. You're not just there checking out all the naked girls. So we understand that, but go to OnlyFans.com/WeighingIn.
We're here to help.
It's free. Yeah, we're here. That's all we're here to do is help you guys.
We're here to help.
It's all free. And if you guys haven't checked out. If you guys haven't checked out our last episode, we did a really cool, really dope Manscaped commercial that I'm very proud of this. We did this on the fly.
Yes, we
This
did.
was something we did when we were in Pachanga, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And we did it at the hotel because we're trying to think of ways to get it,
with our iPhone.
With our iPhone, man. We did it all real quick, and we didn't have Podcast Dave there, although he did have some input on how to make it better and how to clean things up. He gave us some of the lines too. He did a great job.
Yes, he did.
Good job. And
He just can't spell.
He just can't spell.
Look at that.
It's a great commercial. We had a great time, putting it together, and it's fun, man. Honestly, it actually was. It was a lot of fun, John.
Yeah, it was.
So if you guys haven't checked it out, check it out over there. And what's the code for that, Dave? Do you know what the code is on that?
Spell it right, Dave.
I don't know the code. It's,
My God.
I think it's wing and 20. Hold on, I've got it here somewhere.
Yes, Dave.
Wow.
I just wanted to send a reminder. It is waiting.
Man.
Yeah.
So check it out, and you guys check out the commercial if you guys are interested in looking and hooking up with the Manscaped. They do that. I love. You know what I love the most though, out of all their stuff, is their nose trimmer. I really like that. It just, for me, I don't know, man. I don't know if it's the way my nose hair grows real fast in the front.
That's
Right
what
there
old
in the
man.
front.
That's what happens when you're an old man.
It kind of is.
There's one thing that you find out later on in life.
Mm-hmm.
All these guys, they're losing their hair and everything. It's like, that, but they're starting to gain hair in places that hair was never supposed to be. Your ears start having hair. Your freaking nose starts. Hair. You can have a mustache coming out of your nose, man.
Yeah,
It's just nasty.
Maybe one day. You know what's crazy, right, John? Is that I never had chest hair. Never. Not like one strand.
Me neither.
Guess what?
Chest hair.
Now I got chest hair. I'm like, where was this when I was trying to look cool when I was like 15, 16?
No,
now that I'm old, I'm like, fuck, get this shit off of me. It's like adding another fur coat on it before I go to bed. Like,
I'm hot.
It's hot. It's hot in here. Damn, can you turn the AC on? Shit. Oh, all right. Well, hey, let's go ahead. Look, we didn't talk about PFL last weekend because we just covered the UFC pay-per-view card. And so we're just going to go ahead and jump on that to talk about that fight.
We're just spreading it out.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about that fight and we'll talk about that card a little bit. I'm not going to get into the whole card. The whole card didn't deserve a lot of attention, but there was a couple fights in there that I really enjoyed, and I thought that were good fights, and I thought that there was a lot to talk about in terms of fighters that should have won or fighters that did win. That, what does that mean for that fighter now that they're on a losing streak also in a new organization they're in? So go ahead, John. Why don't you take us away, buddy?
Well, we had Larissa Pacheco, who's coming off of being the lightweight winner of the PFL season, now fighting in the featherweight. So she'll be trying to be the first person to have two different weight classes where she's gone through the season and taken the title. Since with the PFL, you kind of don't keep that title. You kind of, you're that season. Now it's a new season. You're not the champion, but she's the champion, Josh. Let's just be honest. And she was going up against Julia Budd, who has been in the PFL now for about 3 fights, I would think. Mm-hmm. And really, it was a good matchup. They both fought well. Pacheco is she's very well rounded. She's got good stand up. She likes, being in the stand up. She likes throwing her hands. She did that with Julia. Julia threw back at times. Julia was doing very well with that. But the ground, you saw certain things. And when Pacheco was in position, she was doing more damage than Julia. But it was a very close fight. I believe someone had it 30-27. And it was like, no. It was a close fight. But
yeah,
it was very good. And you're just looking with Julia. Yeah, it's horrible to say, getting up in age and stuff. And so, it's tough as far as when you're in those positions as the fight themselves. Yeah, look at that. 30-27.
Two had a 30-27.
I'm not believing it. I'm not believing it. It was a good fight.
It really came down to how much ground control that you gave respect to on that. There was some good from positioning and good changes of positioning from Pacheco and from Julia at moments. Yeah. I think where I'm seeing, and we've had this, I wouldn't say this complaint, but I've had this knock on Julia for a while, is that you could be the better striker on paper. You could be the better one that looks better on mitts, looks better, when you're sparring, looking better, all those things, but you're not the better striker when the cage door closes.
Yeah.
and she finds ways to not put combinations together, which is shocking to me because she's got so much talent. Just to believe in what she has, her ability. I said this I think I said this recently also with the Joe Rogan thing. I said it on Rogan's show about how, to me, she's the better, cleaner striker than Chris Cyborg. But then Chris Cyborg just mowed her over with her punching power. Chris was throwing the bigger shots, was just not allowing Julia to get going, and just let the hands go and really overwhelmed her. And then mentally, Julia just backed away, and she actually was a lot more aggressive in that fight than I had seen her pretty much.
That was about as aggressive as I've ever seen her in a fight.
Yep.
I thought that was one of her best performances, even though she lost it.
Mm-hmm.
I thought she fought actually very well throughout that. Really was doing well in the first round. But with Larissa Pacheco, very similar to Cyborg in a way. She just kind of just took over and showed why she is the first person to beat Kayla Harrison. I thought she looked good. She deserved the win, but it was a well represented showing by Julia Budd. But the real question is, where's Julia going to go with this? There's not a whole lot of area to go here. She's fought Aspen Ladd. She lost to Aspen. She also lost to what was the girl's name? I can't think of it. The tall. Screw it. I want to say she's Australian. She's either Australian or New Zealand. I can't remember what it is, but I think she lost to
Jenna
her in the
Fabian
PFL too. There you go, Jenna Fabian.
Jenna Fabian. I've always loved Jenna Fabian.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where you go from there. 3 in a row. Jenna Fabian, Aspen Ladd, and which is crazy. I wouldn't have thought that she would have lost to Jenna or Aspen, to be honest. The thing with Larissa Pacheco, I would like to see her fight someone like Arlene Blanco.
Yeah,
that'd be a fun fight because the two of them would stand, they'd bang, they'd get after it, and that's just me and my selfish reasons. That's why. It's just me and my selfish reasons. Overall, though, Larissa's back on track, and not back on track, but she's picked up where she left off, and she's continue on.
But I gotta ask you, okay, now, and this is the problem with this point system with the PFL is, all right, you've got Amber Leibrock looked great. We'll talk about her fight in a little bit. Had a beautiful knockout with a head kick. 6 points. She did it in the first round. Larissa Pacheco got 3 points. But who fought the tougher fighter?
Yeah.
Who fought the person that this is going to happen coming up next week. You've got OAM, Oliver, who won the lightweight for the PFL last year. Every time someone wins, the PFL puts them against a very difficult fighter the next season. And it's like you're making it to where if you win, you get the hardest fight, because now OAM is going to be fighting Shane Burgos. Tough fight. And I'm not saying that OAM can't beat him. He can. But it's like you can look and it's just those points. It's not even. Who's fighting the more difficult fighter? And I've said it for years. It just doesn't make sense.
Well, it comes down to that the fighters now have figured out that they're going to fight smart right now to try to just get the win and just make sure they get some points, which the tendency is to have kind of boring fights in the opening rounds. And that's kind of the problem with the tournament format, is that they're just trying to get one step closer to getting to the playoffs, is what they call it.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that the Bellator ones are actually any better. Look, you win and you move on. I get that part. That's not the case in this situation. There's and as much as we were talking about with the Bellator tournaments, is you're still getting your fight purse. So that's what the difference is. With them, their money is actually cooked into that $1 million. So that's what the difference is like you're getting the $1 million on top of your fight purse. And a lot of these fighters that are in these tournaments, these guys are and these females that are fighting in the Bellator ones, they're considered to be like some of the best fighters in the world. There's a lot of good fighters in the PFL, but then you're getting some fighters. Like I know the girl that Amber Leibrock fought. I never heard of her.
Oh, really? Elena?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I know we were talking about, you're like, hey, do you know who she is? And I'm like, I don't think so. Remember when I thought she was, no, not Elena. Elena is the one that fought Aspen Ladd.
Yes.
Okay, so I know Elena, like I had seen fight, but I thought she was the other. Remember the other one that fought in Bellator?
Oh yeah,
real
Marina.
good kickboxer.
No, you were thinking about Marina.
Marina. Okay.
Mulkin.
No. There was like kind of a really. She was like probably 125. Real good kickboxer. I think she was out of Poland. I think she was.
Oh no, you're thinking about Lena. Oh,
yes, Lena. I can't say her last name.
I think I'm gonna screw it up.
It's it's hard. It's different. Anyways, but I just completely
it's Lena.
You got me all distracted with names. I lost everything I was saying. I look at the tournament formats and they're great. I think these fighters with Larissa, she's on her way back up. Sure, she's gonna have to fight the tougher fights. I think fighting Julia Budd, but we're gonna see exactly how these how it all works out at the end. I mean, they've got to remember this though. In the PFL, they can, from what I understand, they can insert somebody if they want. They kind of have like the last decision on who gets in and who doesn't, even in their playoffs. From what I understand, because I've talked to a couple managers, like, yeah, like you could be in, like say you're tied with somebody else, yeah, but you're out. It's kind of whoever they want, So it's I guess that's what happens in the earlier stages. Well, everyone just tries to get the 3 points. Maybe one of them gets the 6 and moves on, but the 3 points is that it's whoever they want. Then if you're one of their favorites.
Well, okay, and I'm gonna screw this up with names, but Chris Camozzi, this is I want to say 2 years ago, fought the person who had won the previous season, who was last name of Sorty, and it was a super close fight. Ends up being a split decision, and they give it to Sorty, and he gets 3 points, and Chris Camozzi gets 0. And on the other side of the bracket, you have a couple of guys. One is an ex UFC fighter, Cesar, I want to say Ferreira, and he wins his first fight, gets 6 points because he has a submission in the first round. Cesar Ferreira, yeah. And then Chris Camozzi fights him and beats him and gets 3 points. But Camozzi goes home and Cesar Ferreira goes on while the guy who beat him goes home. Yeah. It just doesn't make sense. There needs to be a cleaner way of doing it. Because all their fights are not even as far as who's fighting the more difficult fighter. It's more, Josh, it's not easy to get rid of a good fighter. Mm-hmm. And so you could fight him, can't get rid of him, but you get the win. Okay, you get the 3 points. But it just doesn't make sense, that, this works out that way. I understand their point system and what they're trying to do, but when the fights aren't even as far as difficulty, it makes a difference.
It's true. All right, next fight.
We had Bruno Capoloza going up against Matthias Scheffel, who had previously beaten Bruno, and it was a good fight. And Bruno went out there and did exactly what he is famous for doing, and that is putting his hands on someone and making that person go night-night. And he did that to Matthias in this one. That was a very, very well fought, beautiful knockout TKO win for Bruno Capoloza. He's back. He's back.
Yeah, I think the two of and this is you go on about the points and I go on, but for me, my complaint about the tournament format that they do, it's always the same people in the tournament. Like if you have, you got to get new people in there. Maybe have the winner and the runner-up go in there, but then you got to have somebody else. You got to have the option to have other people.
You got to have new blood.
Yeah,
but that's tough when your roster is not that big.
I get it, but then the people that didn't get into the finals or the semifinals, the 5 base into the finals, then I don't know what to say. You're going to either have to fight consolation fights, until the next time we can get into the tournament, but there should be They've got to get new blood in there, John. That's the biggest thing. I've seen some of these fights 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, it's getting that way.
Yeah, and so it just becomes a repetitive thing. Almost, it's very similar to, remember how Bellator used to do their tournaments?
Yeah.
It was the same thing. You saw the same fighters fight. And it started kind of, it started having, that's how you kind of had the rivalries with Patricio and Strauss. You've had some good stuff in there, but at the time, no one cared because they just didn't stick around. They didn't follow the tournament go that long, and there were so many tournaments to worry about. Did we lose some?
2.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
It's fine. I'm reloading it right now.
Okay, so we've lost. You lose the hey, like if it's one tournament, I think that's where the difference is with Bellator. They got away from all the other weight classes because it's just too much for people to follow along. You do one weight class all year, they follow it along just fine. And honestly, like if it could be faster than that, which it normally can't, because fighters need time to recover, let their body heal, enjoy life a little bit. But just having 3 or 4 weight classes or 5 or 6 weight classes that you have tournaments in, people just don't follow it that much. They just don't really. Even if the UFC did it, I think some things would get lost in translation. They'd go like, they would probably just pick a weight class that they really want to watch. And they'd stick with that one. Like, that's going to be the best one. So, they might bounce to another one here and there, but I think it's just too much. It becomes too much for people to really fall in love with a certain weight class or all the weight classes. It's just too much going on. It's that swipe to the right, or whatever it is, or swipe up type thing. It's like, okay, what's next? That's it. I don't think they never would really absorb it to really care about it.
Did you not think the Capelos looked good, though?
You did. Sorry, John. I got off on a tangent. You did. He did look good.
I had
the
to
fight
get your
wasn't
comment
long.
on the fight.
The fight wasn't long. We did that. I think we did that last week. We started ranting on about something else, and we didn't really do any of the coverage over Masvidal and Burns.
Yeah.
We didn't actually talk about the fight. We vented about something else. I don't know what it was. I think mainly about his retirement. And, yeah, we missed out on that, too. Man, sometimes we just get going on things.
That's because, we're both becoming senile.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. Just one a little bit younger than the other, which this says a lot. What else?
We had Aspen Ladd taking on Olena. I'm going to screw up the name. What is it?
Olena Kolesnik.
Kolesnik. And, Olena looked really good. I got to give her credit. Her takedown defense looked better. She did not look good in her last fight, at least the one that I can remember last season with the PFL. But she looked really good in this fight. Aspen just couldn't get on track until that last round. She had a very good round, strong round, one that a lot of people, kind of looked at and said, could that have been a 10-8? Possibility. She was going after her. She was trying for submissions. Olena was doing a good job of defending and everything, but really a nice fight for Olena. Not what Aspen Ladd was looking for. She didn't get any points for the playoffs, as you would say. But Olena walked away, I think, with 2 because she missed weight.
Oh, that's weird. So now
you get docked a point.
All right. Interesting. Overall,
which I kind of like.
I do actually like that idea. But with Aspen Ladd, do you put her kind of in a position where she's a slow starter?
Yeah.
Maybe ever since the Jermaine Duranami fight, tried to start fast, got dropped, got finished. Like, I don't know what it is, but just slow starter. Comes out, kind of waits for the fight to develop, doesn't really, and then starts chasing it at the end. Sure, she had a good third round, but you can't drag it out that far in a 3-round fight. It's different when you're in boxing. Okay, 8 rounds, 10 rounds, 12 rounds. You got time. Not in a 3-round fight. That's why we've continued to vent. I continue to vent about this. Is the half point must system? It's the half point must system.
The half point is not a must.
It should be. I mean, it's just the kind of that position of, hey, it should be, having an 8.5 or having a 9 or a 9.5. That would make sense. Like some rounds don't deserve a full another point deduction.
No, they don't.
And I'd like to see more of those being awarded. I'm not confident in. I have no confidence in judges doing the math as it is already.
It's not the judges aren't doing the math. Every time you have the math problems, it ain't the judges.
Wow.
It's the scoring table.
The scoring table.
Yes.
Who runs the scoring table, by the way?
Normally, it's there is a person.
These are your friends, so be careful.
The chief inspector of the event, along with usually the person who's the executive director, executive officer, is there also. Let me tell you something, Josh. Getting those 10s and 9s, sometimes throw an 8 in there, maybe a 7. Oh my God, it just gets all confusing. Get a damn calculator.
Can you imagine if you had to add a half? Jeez.
Oh my God.
Just all over.
Yeah.
All
Trouble.
over.
Point
Dave,
what?
Dave, what's going on with my Zoom, buddy?
Yeah, it's you should see it in a second now. Did it come back?
Jeez.
It came back.
It
All
did.
right, great.
All right.
All right, we did have
I
a
have to do that.
amateur fight in the middle of.
You go ahead and talk
Weird
about
to you? Why is this weird to you? You understand this. Why did they do this?
because they were filling time.
No. They're not.
John. They're filling time, man. I don't know what they're doing. I'm going to vent a little bit more about some stuff too. And this is not just about this fight, about the PFL. I was watching the Augusta also, the Masters. I've noticed that ESPN now, they don't go to like a little commercial break anymore. They just show you like a still shot for a while. And that's what the PFL was doing. They were showing me an overhead view shot of the arena while they were tallying up the scores.
Yep.
For like 3 or 4 minutes. I'm
Oh,
like, what
yeah.
the fuck
Sometimes
is
longer.
this? Like, talk to me. Throw it back down to your commentators. Let's have a conversation.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? And then the same thing happened at the Masters. They kept showing like flowers. I'm like, with no voices, no nothing. It was just like a video. It was like, just flowers, like, and the grass in the background. And I'm like, why are you guys doing this for 3 or 4 minutes, sometimes longer? And they had a problem with in the PFL. They had a problem, must have been that, they weren't using half points, but they were having a problem tallying the score, and that took a while. And when they had that problem, it took probably about 5 minutes of just nothing. It was just an overhead view of the arena, the scoreboard, and whatever it was, the overhead lights and stuff. I'm like, and the cage down below. I couldn't believe it. John, you and I were texting. We're like, what is going on?
Oh, yeah.
Like, this is weird to me.
It is not. It's just not.
Yeah.
I don't believe it's the PFL's fault.
It was almost like they were getting the truck feed without the commercials. Like you were seeing the truck feed of their production. And I'm like, what is going on?
And I think it's an ESPN thing, not a PFL thing. I don't think the PFL would want to do that.
That could be.
I think it's based upon people with the ESPN Plus and paying for that. You don't get the commercial, so here's dead space for you. It's just weird. It's really weird.
Yeah, it was the ESPN app itself. I mean, you would think they'd have something else in there. I don't know. Show me a highlight, or go back down to Randy and Kenny and whoever.
Yeah,
else.
I'll listen to them.
Yeah. I'd rather hear them than just look at a screen of just lights in the cage.
But they did have an amateur fight in between.
Why did they have it?
Because of Biagio Ali Walsh being the grandson of Muhammad Ali.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know
Let's just be honest. The little Ali in there, that brings something. And so they're trying to build him. Don't blame them at all. It's probably makes sense. Bringing in someone like Isaiah Figueroa, kind of tailor-made for Ali Walsh, and not a Figueroa, not a real good wrestler, doesn't have real good takedowns, doesn't have hardly any good stand-up. And Ali Walsh is athletic. Played it. I know Bishop Gorman, and he's a good athlete. He looked good. I believe he's like, I want to say 3-1 now in his amateur career.
It doesn't have his, but 3-1. You're right.
Yeah. I know he lost his first fight, and but he's doing good, and I give the PFL credit. Hey, if you're gonna try to use him, put him out there. Let's see what he can do. But the real problem is you're taking an amateur fight and putting it in the middle between professional fights. It's just weird.
Yeah.
Again.
Do you think he's getting paid well for an amateur?
I wouldn't know, but not supposed
Maybe he's
to
on
happen.
an NIL deal.
NIL deal. That's it.
He might be on an NIL deal.
But that was
all
a
right, John.
nice win for him. You had Rizvan Kuniev against Heenan Ferreira. Heenan Ferreira's, we talked about, huge dude, 6'8", very athletic, but he could not stop the ground and the takedowns of Kuniev, which we, knowing him, he's got very good. He's got good pressure. He's got good top game, and he just kind of wore him down. Got the decision. That was a nice win though for Kuniev.
Next.
Maurice Green against Marcelo Nunez, kind of another heavyweight match. Marcelo Nunez just trying for takedowns. Maurice Green fighting him up, just about every one of them off. And you look and you go, Marcelo Nunez just not at the level to fight Maurice Green.
Yeah.
Doesn't have the takedown ability. You're trying to get the fight to the ground. Well, you better start working some of those wrestling techniques a little bit more.
What other fights on here you want to talk about, John?
Amber Leibrock looked good against Martina Jendrova. That was a very nice head kick, well placed, power on it. She went after her to finish it. She really didn't even have to.
No.
Amber used to fight in Bellator. She's got good stand up. When she starts fighting people that can get her to the ground, though, it's going to get a little tougher for her.
This is true. Yeah, she struggles with, I swear there's a girl that I thought she fought. I just can't think of her name. It's driving me crazy, John.
It's not there.
Oh, it's not, man. I thought her name was Sam. She used to have a bulldog. Gosh, man. Good jiu-jitsu girl out of San Francisco. Yeah, anyways, it's really bothering me right now. The memory just isn't what it used to be.
Maybe it was an amateur fight long ago.
I don't know. It's bothering me.
It's bothering me.
I think she broke her arm in their fight, like her elbow arm. Anyways, I don't know. Maybe I'll think of another girl.
I don't know.
All right. Hey, once again, go to onlyfans.com/Wayne, and it's all free, you guys. You don't have to just subscribe to us. You don't have to pay anything. We'll be doing extra content over there. Just doing more stuff with our fans. So make sure you guys head on over there, and we'll be in more contact with you. Try to get as busy with you guys as we can. Not in that kind of way, though. You guys dial it back. If you guys haven't seen our Manscaped ad, you guys, that's probably as close as you're going to get to us. And that's as close as we're all getting. Go to onlyfans.com/Wayne and subscribe to us over there. And that we'll be taking fan questions from that platform as well. So, John, what else we got? What do you got for us, Dave?
So
All right.
much.
We got a big fight coming up this weekend.
Is it a big fight?
I think it's a big fight.
It's a big fight.
Max Holloway against Arnold Allen. This is a featherweight matchup where you look and you go, we're going to see exactly how good Arnold Allen is. We've talked about him. We think he's really good, but there's always that litmus test, and Max Holloway tends to be the guy that will determine how good are you. Because if you can be in a tight fight, I'm not saying beat him, but if you can be in a tight fight with Max Holloway, you're demonstrating how good your skills are.
Yeah, he's so good. His hand speed is so good. He's very accurate with his striking. He's got great movement. I think where he lacks is in the clinch against the fence, against the cage, and he lacks off of his back. Now, he's not the easiest guy to take down. He's definitely not the easiest guy to hold down.
Yep.
But the ability is still there to hit submissions. His ability is still there to get back to his feet. But I think Arnold Allen's going to have to really try to put his body weight on him, try to make him carry him, try to, clinch him, rough him up, make it a grimy, dirty fight if he's going to try to get this thing done. Because if you try to fight Max Holloway at range, it ain't going to work, man.
Not a smart tactic.
Well, I mean, like you look at Volk, right? Volk was able to kind of fight him at range because Volk tore up the lead leg. Then on top of tearing up the lead leg, I think that Volk's probably a little bit faster than him.
Oh, yes.
And he gets in. It seems like he's got more power than Max. So if he does touch you, he makes you think about standing in front of him too much. So then your offense isn't as much as it should be for Max. he needs more offense to really put fear into you. And when someone's faster than him, he has a hard time dealing with that. At least that's what I saw from the Volk fights. Arnold Allen's going to have to get in there, be aggressive on him, make it a dirty, grimy fight, and also go back. If anything was learned from the fights with Volkanovski and Max, was that Max Holloway's leg is there for the taking. Now you may lose a round or two, but you got to get after that leg quick. And if you get after it quick and early with those calf kicks and those inside leg kicks and all those things, you'll start seeing him change his stance. You'll start seeing him make adjustments. You saw that with Yair. Yep, exactly. He just wasn't the same fighter after he started getting Now that I have friends that fought. You remember this fight? Justin Wilcox fought the Russian kid that tore his leg up in the calf kick.
Stepanyan.
Jeez, man. For months.
Akop Stepanyan.
So he came in to train like 6 to 7 months later, and he was telling me, "Don't kick my shin, man." That's how messed up it was still to that day. These calf kicks, man, they've changed the game, but they can also change your career if you take too many of them. So you got to be careful. I think, making the adjustments with these. And I think one of the guys that has done a really good job at not taking too much damage is Charles Oliveira. It doesn't seem like he's found a way where he's got that high knee where he lifts it up high every time you go to kick him. I mean, you can kick the back leg out because he does that, but I think when you're as good as him on the ground, you really don't care. You're like, yeah, whatever. Come on down here, buddy.
Yeah,
so
that's really what it is.
Arnold Allen is, I think if he gets after the calf a little bit early and is able to make it a dirty, grimy fight in that first round and a half, he's just got to hope that he can go the full 5 because Max Holloway will be there in the 5th. And he'll be pointing at the ground, going, "Let's go." So you better be in that kind of shape. He does
that a lot.
Yeah, you better be in that kind of shape.
Yep. Before that, your co-main event, Edson Barboza taking on Billy Quarantillo, Billy Q. Man, I tell you what, this is one of those ones. Like Edson Barboza, he's got beautiful stand-up, incredible technique, speed, all that. What does Billy Quarantillo bring? Balls. He brings guts. He brings a tenacious attitude that he just keeps coming after you. He could get it done, but he's going to take some damage in trying to get there.
The thing is, though, John, is that Edson's been removed for what? He hasn't fought in 8 months? Maybe longer?
A little while.
It's been a while. I think his last fight. When was his last fight?
March last year, so almost just over a year.
Yeah, just over a year. That's a long layoff for someone who you can tell is a gym rat kind of thing. And where is his mental at? And go back to him. How many losses does he have in a row? 2? 3?
No. I think he only had 1.
2 in a row.
2 in a row.
Oh, he lost to Giga.
And then he lost. Yeah. And then he beat Shane Burgos and he beat
Americani.
Lost to Danny Ige, which was a very close fight. Lost to Paul Felder and lost to Justin Gaethje.
Super close fight.
Yeah. And then the Paul Felder and the Justin Gaethje fights were all at 55. So that being the case, the Bryce Mitchell one is the one that shocked me the most, was how easy he was for him to get taken down, and then he just had no answer for the grappling right away. But overall, is he the same guy? Is he the same guy that we saw highlight reel knockouts with? Is he the same? Is he that guy, or is he gonna fight cautious? Is he gonna fight careful? Because you can't do that with Billy. He's gonna have to deliver a lot of damage to Billy early and try to get him out of there, because Billy's going to be there to go ahead and keep pushing the pace.
Yep.
He's going to take a shot to try and give a shot. This could shape up to be a fucking great fight.
Really could.
Someone get knocked the fuck out real quick. So we'll see. You have to be aggressive and be a fun fight. Next,
we got Azamat Murzakanov against the Hanyak Dustin Jacoby, who really, Dustin's been on a tear for the most part. I believe he got a draw in his last one? I'm not sure. But he might have he was tearing it up. He had a huge win streak, lost to Khalil Roundtree. Split decision. Okay. But he had a big win streak going with that. Look at Jacoby's been really fighting well. He's into his own. The problem is he going to be able to keep the fight where he wants it to be against Azamat? I don't think so.
I guess we'll see. I mean, coming off of a loss against Roundtree, but Roundtree's one of those guys, right? He's just kind of a bully. He can be the guy that kind of
That was
gets
a close
in your
fight, though.
Yeah, it was. It was. I mean, like how much of the confidence was taken from that, knowing that it was a close fight? You could have probably got it, you could have not. But we'll see. We'll see how he comes out. If he fights safe or if he fights aggressive and wants to try to dominate the fight. We'll see. Some guys after a loss, they kind of don't fight the same way.
Yeah, that's true.
Next fight.
Good question. Dave switched my thing, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Tanner Bozer against Ion Cutelaba. Bozer coming down from heavyweight. He's been fighting heavyweight most of his career. Cutelaba has fought middleweight up into light heavyweight. It's a banger fight. Actually, I kind of like it. Cutelaba tries to bully people. He tries to be very aggressive. He tries to make guys, like wilt to his pressure. That's not who Tanner is. I've been in the cage with Tanner. Tanner just sit there and laugh at you. He's a good guy. He's got a lot of good skills. And the one thing he's got a pretty goddamn good gas tank, which we've seen Cutelaba have problems with.
Mm-hmm. John, there's as I'm looking at this thing though, there's a lot of sneaky good fights on this. Like the next two fights on here are fucking fantastic.
Yeah, Pedro Munoz against Chris Gutierrez is great. That's not an easy fight for Pedro Munoz. In fact, I'm going to say that Chris Gutierrez should be the favorite in that fight.
I would actually probably agree with you on this. I think they're just different points in their career right now.
Yep.
One's on the way, kind of on the rise a little bit, and the other one's kind of plateaued, if not maybe a little descent. And Pedro Munoz is kind of on the way down. I wouldn't say he's drastically on the way down. No. And Gutierrez is definitely on the way up. But then the Clay Guida, we just saw him recently at the last San Jose show. Yeah, against Rafa Garcia. Good fight. Both of them are going to get after it. Like when you look at fighters that are really looking to just exchange, the wrestling, the scrambles, all of those things should be a fantastic.
Well, Rafa Garcia is a good wrestler, but there's something about Clay Guida.
Yep.
People think that, his wrestling's not that good. He's pretty basic. No, he just gets it done. The man gets it done all the time. And at his age now, still with the gas tank that he has and the ability to stay with some of these young studs, I'll be rooting for Clay Guida in that fight.
John, we saw him at the last San Jose card, and I was like, man, you're still doing this shit.
He loves it.
He loves it. He just, and he's
it.
got his fishing business that he does, like a little tour fishing business that he does. And then, Chad Mendez does his hunting one, and they kind of join together. And
fins
man,
and
good
feathers.
for them. Good for
feathers
them.
And fins.
Next fight.
You got Bill Algeo against TJ Brown. That is actually a really good fight. Bill Algeo, damn good fighter. Very good all the way around. TJ Brown's really coming into his own. I mean, that's a great matchup. I really like that in the featherweight.
Yeah, but John, the fight I'm looking forward to is the next one.
The next one. Yeah, Brandon Royval against Mateus Nicolau. That's just, we've seen Mateus. We know how good he is. We know how good Brandon Royval is. Mm-hmm. It's flyweights. I'm telling you, how long have we been saying? They're actually, it's an exciting division with a lot of guys in there. You look at, you go, he could be the guy.
I don't know, man. I know they're kind of making a rise, but I said, is it because of Henry and DJ not being there anymore, just wiping them all out, making it look easy? Is that why? Now we've got a mix-up of young talent that's coming up that
could be,
against other fighters that are equal to them, because you've got fighters like, Henry and with DJ, they were so dominant over that division and, and fantastic fighters. So I don't know. I mean, I'm looking forward to that fight, though. It should be a very good fight. Royval is very tough, and Nicolau is extremely tough. It's going to be a good fight, man. I'm pumped. Any other fights on here, John, you want to talk about?
Yeah, I just want to say, the one that's interesting is the second fight of the night, Lando Venata taking on Daniel Zellhuber. That's it's interesting to see that Lando's down, fourth fight of the night. But the other guy that's in there, Gaston Bolanos, very good stand-up. Going up against Aaron Phillips. If Aaron Phillips decides to be on the feet, probably not going to be his night. Decides taken down, probably going to do well.
Yeah, I think he's going to look to get the takedowns. I know that Gaston's been training at AK quite a bit, especially on the wrestling and grappling days. He'll come in and he'll be there every Tuesday, Thursdays for the wrestling and grappling. So,
but if you look, the one thing that's interesting, most time Bolanos is at 145. This is a bantamweight fight.
Yeah, he would have had to have done that. If you're gonna make a run, man, you got to make a run at a weight class that you're gonna have to put the work in. So, I don't know. All right, well, hey, that's going to wrap up our UFC talk that's going on this weekend. And Dave's got some news for us. What do you got for us?
Well, we actually do have one. We have an upcoming PFL as well as the one you guys recapped. So, anything you want to touch on here before we get any topics?
Go ahead, John.
I'm being honest. The main event is Sadabu Sai, who won the welterweight. It's against Salawi. Did I say Silva? Salawi is his opponent in this. Good fighter. Tends to like to be on his feet a lot. That's probably the best place for Sadabu Sai to get a victory. So I look at that. You do have Magomed Karamov taking on Ben Eagley. That's a good matchup, but Magomed is too good for him, I believe. Yeah. But the one that's actually really interesting is...
John, you and I have the same taste in fights, motherfucker.
I love Stevie Ray against Nathan Schulte. That's a good fight.
It's going to be a great fight.
Yeah.
That fight's very exciting to me. Stephen Ray is going through, I believe he's going through something. His daughter is having some issues, I believe. I could be...
Let me see if I
can you look that up?
Yeah.
I believe that she needed like a procedure, I just remember that I reposted something. I think it was just probably about 2 weeks ago. Can you look at that up, Dave?
Yeah, I am.
There was like something going on, I think, with...
Yeah, he posted something about... Let me see. I'm trying to just read here. Trying to raise funds for my daughter to get brain surgery. Her story is on the page if anyone wants to read or share. Also, if anyone can help donate anything you can, all helps.
Yeah, so like he had a GoFundMe set up. This was about a couple weeks ago, and then I had put it out and shared it on my social media and stuff, and just wanted to bring more.
Does he still have the GoFundMe out there?
Let me check the link and see what's.
I would imagine it's probably staying up, but yeah. Just like people that listen to us that don't always watch PFL or don't watch, just something that if you guys can help, like he said, anything helps. $100, $20.
$5,
whatever $5, whatever it is, if you guys have an opportunity to go ahead and to share it on your social media, bring a little bit more awareness to it.
At Stephen Ray MMA, the link's still there on his profile.
Okay.
On his Instagram, what's his Instagram?
Stephen Ray MMA.
Stephen Ray MMA. Okay, and that's still there on the profile.
Yep.
Good. Yeah. So if you guys are listening, you guys can help him out or give him a hand. Check it out. And try to help him out if you guys can. Like you said, anything helps. Anything, even if it's just positive words. Send him a message. Let him know. Share his link, his GoFundMe. Anything to help his daughter. Anything else on here, John?
Yeah, there is, and there's a couple of things that I want to go over real quick because you've got a couple of really great fights in here. Mm-hmm. You've got Shane Burgos taking on OAM. We talked about it. Oliver Aubin Mercier. Mm-hmm. That should be fantastic. You got Clay Collard, who always brings it, going up against Nishikawa. And Nishikawa is good. He will definitely try to take Clay Collard down to the ground somewhere along the way. And the one that shocks me, first fight of the night, a guy that made it to their PFL finals in his last fight, Delano Taylor, taking on Magomed Umalatov. I'm going Umalatov. But
it's 12 now.
Yeah, 12. But why is he the first fight of the night?
John, I'm looking at this though too. Is it set up in two different ways? Like this is the main card because you got Shane Burgos. Maybe it's two cards in one night. I don't know. I can't explain it because you have Mercier, you have OAM versus Shane Burgos. They're number 4. They've got to have this broken up to where it's like these are the first 4 fights for the May, and then like for the lightweight or whatever. I don't even know, man. However they break it up.
All welterweight and all lightweight.
Fuck, man.
The whole thing.
I don't get it. Like I don't understand why you would have those first 4, Clay Collard and Nishikawa. How are you guys have those guys so low on the card? We've got to be missing something here, John.
I'm not missing.
Got to
anything.
be. There's just no. It doesn't explain. I'm lost. I'm at a loss for words.
Thank you.
Whoever's the only thing I can think of is that they're running 2 cards. This is our first weight class, okay, and then this is our second. I don't even know, man.
All right.
And here they are. Look at you have the lightweights. They're the head poster there, and they're the 4th fight of the night.
Okay, it could be that where Dave is getting his information, they're clueless as far as the actual true schedule.
Yeah, maybe the card's not actually coming out that way.
Yeah.
Who
so
knows?
that I can think, because it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make any sense. Like you can't have. I can't imagine.
It's
Look,
also
right,
not
when you
easy to
click-
see because when I click on it, it doesn't take me to the card. It takes me to the regular 2023 season, and I can't view Friday, April 14th. See, there's no like clickable thing. It's just only buy tickets. Here, let's click matchups and see.
Yeah, but then even though it says right there, that's a picture of OAM, which means like they obviously are more high. They're high on him. So why is he number 4 on the fight the fight card?
So Sherdog, where we pulled the card from, does look like it's going off of what PFL has lined up on the website because they have Sai and Al Silawi as the main here. At least they have it at the top of the card. So it does look like this is exactly how Sherdog's got it laid out, is the way that you're seeing it on PFL.com, PFL MMA. See Shane Burgos down here. So, but you're right, the poster on the front on PFL's website, PFLMMA.com, does show a poster with Burgos and
OAM. Yep. Yeah, interesting. Those little things make a difference, in terms of marketing, whether I'd watch or not. So, who knows?
Well, let's be honest. If you're going to look and say which one is going to be more marketable, is it the main event that they have with the welterweights or that lightweight fight?
Yeah, the lightweight fight. I mean, I'm going to always lean towards the lightweights because I'm selfish. Super biased. All right, next. What else you got for us, Dave?
Yeah, let's look at this first story and get your thoughts on this. Belal is saying that if he can't get the title shot that he's going after at 170, he's going to go up to 85, or he's willing to go up to 85 to get the Strickland fight or the Chimaev fight.
This is where I'm laying on this, John, is that don't get frustrated, my guy.
Yeah.
Stay the course. I know it's frustrating. I know it's irritating. I know that there's so many things around you you're probably being told this and told that. Winning solves everything. Get another win. Don't get frustrated. You go up to 85 and you lose, there goes your welterweight title shot.
That's right.
Done. Don't do it. Don't. Stay the course. Who knows? Maybe they're going to call you to be the backup on one of these next fights. Don't get frustrated. You've waited this long. You've worked this hard. Don't do it. Just stay the course, my guy. That's it. I can't say anything else. There's nothing else to say, John. Like that one lapse of being frustrated could really cost you everything you work for.
I understand his frustration, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You're taking a look at, he's on a 8-fight win streak, 9-fight win streak. And, Gilbert Burns, same thing. He's sitting there saying, look, hey, man, I've been winning. And the guy you're going to give the title shot to, he's 2-2 in his last 4 fights. Okay.
Yeah.
I understand the frustration, but, I mean, you're right. I don't think it's a good idea to move up to 185 right now. I would say that, 170 is your weight class. Stay with it. If he takes a fight, the real question is, who does he fight, though?
I really believe that he needs to fight Gilbert. The two of them need to fight. And then the winner of that
fight.
Yeah, it is. But the winner of that fights for the title.
Yeah.
That's kind of the only way that I can see that thing. You shouldn't even have Chimaev in there. So you've got Kamaru Usman there. So maybe you put. And I don't think that Belal and Usman would fight. Not between them. I just think management has a little bit of that say, like, hey, they're both my guys. Let's try to avoid that. But Gilbert's also, I believe, his guy too. So I think he's Ali's guy also, I believe. Gilbert Burns. Could be wrong. But Belal and Usman are both Ali's guys. So that being said, I mean, I don't know. Because I believe when Usman and Burns fought each other, they were both all these guys. So I don't know if any of that has changed. But I don't know. It's a position where you at right now. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Belal needs to fight one of those. I would have loved to have seen the Colby fight. Colby and Belal would have been a great fight.
Yeah.
Great fight. So who knows? We're gonna see what happens. We'll see how the UFC has their own whatever it is they do. They figure it all out. But either way. Next.
All right, let's get into this one. Gilbert Burns had accused Masvidal in the post fight of being greased up during the fight, and he was frustrated because he didn't manage to finish the fight, and he feels that was why. Excuse me. But he did come out and issue an apology on that, a very profound apology. Here's a quote. It says, "I just want to make that statement. I want to apologize to George. The things that I said, accusing him of using, I want to take that one back. I think I made a mistake," kind of pointing fingers saying he did that. "I was just in the moment. I was a little frustrated that I didn't get the finish. I don't want no drama with that. I'm cool with George. He did his thing, and I hope he accepts my apology."
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. I mean, more power to him. You know, can admit when he was wrong.
Yep, there you go.
Sometimes hard for people to do that.
It is the right thing. Like,
I couldn't resist. I couldn't resist.
When you're sitting there with all the media there and they're asking you questions after a big win, you kind of just going to spurt off what you're thinking, even though you don't have proof. And how many times you and I talking, and I'll say, "Don't say that. You don't have proof of that. That's a belief." And I'm not saying you're wrong, but if you don't have proof, don't say it. And this right here, it was a belief, and he felt like he was slippery. Let it go. You got the win. That's all that matters. And so it's one of those things. Guys do put lotion on at times. There are guys that they put lotion on, and it's not to cheat. It's just what they do as far as part of their grooming and stuff. And can it come out? It can.
When we were in Japan, I fought there. they made King Mo right before he walked out, not in the back. Right before he walked out, he was in the loading area. They said, "Here's some rubbing alcohol. with the towelettes. Yeah. Wipe your whole body down." They made him wipe it all. I think, like, from what I understand, he's like, "Bro, they just assume all black people wear lotion."
First off, what does King Mo do though? He wrestles. Yeah,
he wrestles.
He doesn't want to be all slippery. But okay,
I'm just laughing though. But he's like, "Yeah, they made me use like baby wipes with like rubbing alcohol and just wipe my whole body down, knees, ankles, wrists, arms, everything." They made me wipe everything down.
Well, he got to wear his wrestling shoes. Why would they have to do his ankles?
He's just funny, man. Cracked me up. I was like, oh man, but no, there's I think people do it all the time. My frustration with Clay Guida, and I talked to him that night, actually. I was like, man, I was a little like still frustrated with you for years after that, because I felt like he was greased, like I felt that very first guillotine that I had on was hair products. Yeah. And that was kind of during that Diego Sanchez, Nick Diaz kind of situation where Diego had the longer hair, had the hair product in there. Same thing happened with the Clay Guida thing, had the hair product in there. Super frustrating, man.
Yeah.
Very frustrating. When you try to grab a hold of their neck, you try to grab it, and they're able to wiggle and scoot out, and frustrating. But it is what it is. Time heals all wounds, I believe. I was like, you son of a bitch. He's laughed at me.
How many years of time?
Jesus, it's been a long time, man. What is that? That was in 2006.
Yeah,
it's 2006, March of 2006, I believe.
So it only took you to 2023 to say, all right.
Yeah, I mean, I think I sort of forgiven him a couple years ago, but I didn't actually see him until now. So I just like, you know what? You wouldn't believe how pleasurable it was for me to corner Gray Maynard when he beat him, even though it was one of the most worst fights.
That was a horrible fight.
It was so bad. But it was. I was like, it was always Gray one at the time. But no, I got nothing against Clay, man. I like him, man. He's a good dude.
He's a
super
good
nice
guy.
Everyone kept telling me how nice he was. I'm like, I don't want to hear it. Don't talk to me about him. Now I'm like, he's a good guy. So, all right, you got anything else for us, Dave?
Yeah, we'll wrap up on this one. We had a couple of fighters cut from the UFC. One of them really notable. One One of them notable for different reasons. Here, I'm scrolling down to it right now. I had to reboot everything
Dave.
earlier.
English. Speak up, buddy. Dave's having a hard time with his words today.
Kyler Phillips was cut, but
Which is shocking.
He tested
Yeah.
positive.
He tested positive by the state of Nevada, it says, but that comes from a USADA test, I believe. Tested positive for ostarine.
What is
Can't have
ostarine?
it. It's a steroid.
What kind of steroid?
I want to say it's. Ostarine is like stanozol.
I don't even know what stanozol is.
Okay,
What's
well, I'm
stanozol?
fucking done talking. So.
All right, I don't know what stanozol is. What is it? Ostarine? No. What is that?
Yeah, that's
That's not ostarine. What word?
Eno
You obviously can't
balsarum.
spell either.
No, it's right here. It was on the
Okay.
right side of the screen. I
Ostarine
don't
is a type
know
of
why.
drug called a selective.
It's anadrine. Androgen.
Yeah, that's
It's not approved by the FDA,
No.
but it's sometimes found in supplements. Okay. Oh, it tells myself. Sorry, guys. I'm just reading here, breast. Ooh. Weight loss due to illness, breast cancer, and many other conditions. But
Okay.
there is no good.
It's not something you're supposed to take.
No.
Let's just say that. But, the one thing I will say about Kyler Phillips, he's a good fighter. He's fun
Yeah.
to watch. He's talented. And he'll get over this and he'll be back. I'm not, if he doesn't go back with the UFC right now, okay. He's got a lot of talent. So PFL, Bellator would want to pick him up. He's young and talented.
Dave, look at his record. There was a fight that he had. There was a fight. I think it was his first fight in the UFC. Damn, he had a really. He has fun fights.
No, he's a good fighter.
He's a scrapper.
Yeah.
Let me see.
You said UFC.
Yeah.
He beat Yadong Song.
Yes, I think that was
Song
the fight.
Yadong Song.
Yep.
Yep.
No, I think it was the Paiva fight. That was a good fight. No, I think. Let's see which order. Yeah, I think it was a fight that he lost, but that was a good fight. It was a scrap back and forth. Maybe it was the Yadong Song fight. Anyways, but one of those fights really got my attention. I really enjoyed watching it, and I remember him.
He's good.
He's good. He's fun. So
Yeah.
hopefully he gets that whole situation figured out.
He's only
But,
27 years of age, though. So
yeah, it might have been something in the supplements, but maybe they just
Could have been.
look
Who knows?
that'll let. Reality is they'll let you know if they really like you or not. Because in situations like this, if that was like a John Jones, they'd be saying that it was no big deal. Nah, we're good.
Very
Okay,
good.
who's the other fighters?
Cynthia Calvillo.
Ooh.
Yeah, you talked about kind of lost, been bouncing around different gyms, everything. Things are just not, set up right for her right now. So in a way, it could be a good reboot, get herself back on track, get herself with, a coach that, if it's John Woods, because she was with Syndicate and John Wood on her last fight, whatever it is. Look, she's a good fighter, and being a strawweight, she has a little bit of trouble making that weight. Flyweight is easier, but she's a good fighter. She's got talent on the ground. She tends to get too much into stand-up brawls for no reason at times. It's like, take the fight to the ground when you can, but I think, basically what you said was true. Right now, just kind of lost. Just needs to, take a step back, collect yourself, get back at it, figure out exactly, what you need to do to right the ship, and she will.
Yeah, I think Anthony Johnson and other fighters have kind of proven that if you go somewhere else, you can be brought back for a lot more money.
Yeah.
Just got to get some wins.
Yeah.
Go out there, get some wins, have some dominant performances, whether it's another bigger organization, or a big organization, I should say, not bigger, but big organization, or go to a smaller organization and just dominate, win their titles, whether it's LFA or go to Invicta, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Go there, dominate, show that you're regrouped, show that you're refocused, get your confidence back, and then, make a little bit of a run back if you need. So who knows? It doesn't always mean that you have to go back to the UFC. Go anywhere you want. You just got to find ways to make yourself happy. Make money, man. That's the biggest thing. I've always said this. Winning solves everything. And you just got to keep winning. tally up those wins. Same thing I just said about Belal. Don't let it get to you. Go out there, stay the course, get the wins. She needs to find a camp that she's comfortable in and where she can live and stay and not worry about anything else but training.
Yep.
I don't know what her outside distractions are, but she's got to figure it out. And you can't just go to one camp and think, okay, I'm there for 10 weeks. Okay, it's going to be perfect. No, it's not.
Takes a lot to get used to. A lot of, just the difference in the people you're working with, the environment, everything leads to some frustrations. Don't worry about it.
I mean, I had trained at AKA for years. I trained there probably 2.5, 3 years before I even took my first fight with them. And before I even went to AKA, I had like, I don't know, 12, 13 fights, something like that on low-level shows, fucking in the cuts in Montana and the hills and the mountains, like fucking no idea, man. There's times we showed up, remember we had to print the things up on MapQuest. You had the paper with you going, is this the right way? Is this even a road? Am I going the right way? And that's kind of how we did it. I remember showing up at a place one time and they didn't have a hotel in the town. So we just brought sleeping bags and we ended up camping out, and I fought the next day, and then we stayed that night after, and we were down by the river. We slept on the fucking ground.
I live down by the river in a van.
Yep. It was crazy, man. Slept and just kind of slept out on by the water and had a fire all night. Woke up in the middle of the night freezing my ass off. Had to throw some more wood on the fire and get back at it. Next day we fought.
How did you ever have a desire to do this?
That's called being a man. I wanted to make sure I could fucking fight. Jeez.
You grew up in like the easiest times in American history, and you wanted to be able to fight.
The easiest times.
Yeah.
It's so great. Oh my gosh. You're great. I love it. You live in the easiest times.
No, I do not.
Yeah, yes, you do.
Oh yeah, you're part of the easy times.
You are part of the easiest times. You're that millennial, bro, that we talk about on the news. That's it. You are.
Soft times create soft men.
Yep.
Hello,
soft
podcast
hands.
Dave.
You got soft hands. You even have calluses.
See my hands?
Yeah, from your keyboard.
From my keyboard. My buttons are pretty tough. Okay.
Well, hopefully Cindy Cavillo finds her way, and Kyler Phillips gonna have to deal with that suspension, so he'll be out for a while on that. But then I'm sure someone will pick him up. He's young, he's talented, good fighter. But hey, as we wrap this thing up, man, it's been a long week, John.
Boy, you're bad.
Wednesday. It's only Tuesday. It's not even Wednesday. Well, it'll be Wednesday by the time this drops.
No, it's Wednesday now. Trust me.
GoodOnlyFans.com/weighing in. Hit the subscribe button over there and follow us. We got some good times over there. Not in that kind of way. And also, if your wife complains to you, just say, hey, I followed the guys on the podcast. We are the first podcast that they have ever worked with. So we want to thank them so much for having us on their platform at onlyfans.com/weighing in. Go to weighingInmerch.com. Pick up this nice, beautiful hat right here. And John's got a nice, beautiful hat, too, with the original logo that we had on. Yep. And Dave's never supporting, so, I
think I had
weighingInmerch.com. He does have. He does. But, John, go ahead and take us away, buddy.
Hey, for everyone out there, have a fantastic rest of the week. I hope everything goes well for you, and we will see you.